Hello students. In our today's class, we are going to talk about next essential element of a valid contract, that is free consent. We have seen that whenever a contract comes into existence, consent of both the parties to the contract is very essential. So consent means willingness of the parties, or parties should be ready to enter into contract or agreement. So only consent is not sufficient, but as per section 14 of Indian Contract Act, the consent should be free consent. Now what is free consent? We are going to discuss in this class. So not only the parties to the contract should have identity of mind. We have seen that the parties to the contract must have identity of mind. That means they should have consensus ad idem. Consensus ad idem means identity of minds, means they should agree upon the same thing in the same sense. But the consent of the parties must also be free and real. Only consent is not sufficient, but that consent should be free and real. According to section 14, consent is said to be free when the consent is free, when it is not caused by the 5 elements which we are going to discuss. So, consent should be free consent. Consent is not free. When consent is not free, when it is caused by 5 elements. First element is coercion, section 15, undue influence, section 16, fraud, misrepresentation, and mistake. These are the 5 elements. If the consent is given by one of the parties to the contract because of any of these 5 elements, then in that case, that consent is not a free consent. When the consent to an agreement is caused by coercion, undue influence, fraud, and misrepresentation, then in that case the contract is voidable at the option of the party whose consent was caused by either of these 4 elements. So when the consent to the agreement is given by one of the parties to the contract by first 4 elements, coercion, undue influence, fraud, and misrepresentation, then the contract is voidable at the option of the party whose consent was so caused. Voidable means both the options will be available to that party. We have already discussed the definition of voidable contract. And if the consent is caused by mistake, that is a 5th element, then the agreement is void, totally not enforceable by law. Now we will discuss about the first element, that is coercion. Now what is coercion? So coercion means it is a threat or force used by one party against another party for compelling him to enter into an agreement. So what is coercion? One party is using threat or using force. Why he is using force? In order to compel the other party to enter into agreement. Section 15 deals with coercion. As per section 15 of Indian Contract Act, coercion is what it is. Coercion means it is committing or threatening to commit. So the person is in reality, he is committing that, he is doing that, or he is threatening, giving a threat that he will commit. What he will commit? Any act forbidden by Indian Penal Code. So he is either committing, either doing, or saying that he will do. What he will do? Any such act which is opposed or which is mentioned in the Indian Penal Code as the crime. What is Indian Penal Code? Indian Penal Code means it is a law branch which deals with the criminal law. In that Indian Penal Code, certain definitions of crime have been given, and for which crime, what punishment has to be given, it has been mentioned in Indian Penal Code. So in order to form a coercion, so in order to say that an agreement or the consent to an agreement is given because of coercion, what the one party has done? He has either committed or he is committing or threatening to commit any act which is forbidden, means which is prohibited by Indian Penal Code, means he is committing a crime, or he or an unlawful detaining or threatening to detain any property of any person with intention to induce any person to enter into an agreement. That means what? He is detaining. To detain means to keep a property in his possession or keep a person in his possession. Either he is detaining or threatening to detain any person or any property of that person with an intention. What is the purpose of doing that? In order to induce that person to enter into contract or agreement. That is the definition of coercion. So usually asked question about coercion. Define coercion. For 2 marks question or in 5 marks question it will be asked. So but coercion or on this topic a case study will often be asked. So what is coercion? It is, we will divide this definition in different parts so that it will be easy to remember. So coercion means committing or threatening to commit. What committing or threatening to commit? Any act. Which kind of act? The act which is forbidden, which is prohibited by Indian Penal Code. Or unlawful detaining, unlawfully keeping in possession. What? Or threatening to keep in possession. What? Any property of any person. What is the intention of doing that? In order to induce that person, another person, to enter into an agreement. That is called as coercion. So in short, whenever a force is used in order to induce another person, in order to compel another person to enter into contract or agreement, that is called as coercion. So, what amounts to coercion? So, as per section 297 of Indian Penal Code, consent is induced by coercion. It is said that consent is given because of coercion. When consent is obtained at the point of pistol. So at the gun point, when one person puts a gun on the head of the other person and say that you sign this contract or you sell this property to me for 5 lakh rupees. So whenever the consent is received, got at the gun point, that consent is not a free consent. With threat of imprisonment, one person says that I will lock you in this room if you will not enter into contract or if you will not agree to sell your property worth 5 lakh rupees to me for 5,000 rupees. That is threat of imprisonment. Or by threat to commit suicide. So whenever committing suicide is an offense as per Indian Penal Code. So suicide means killing oneself. So that is also considered as a crime. Whenever one person gives a threat to other person, if you will not enter into contract or agreement, I will commit suicide. So this is a threat to commit suicide is also punishable offense under Indian Penal Code. When one person gets the consent of another person by threatening him to commit suicide, that is not a free consent. It is a consent given because of coercion. So why this threat is given, why the consent is got at the point of gunpoint or by giving a threat to imprisonment, etc. This is done with an intention to cause that person to enter into agreement, that is called as act of coercion. So coercion, section 297 of Indian Penal Code says that whenever the consent is given at the gunpoint or because of the threat of imprisonment or because of the threat to commit suicide, and this is done in order to get the consent of the other party to the contract or in order to induce the other party to enter into contract or agreement. In that case, we can say that the consent is given because of coercion and it will not be a free consent. It will be a consent given because of coercion and it is not a free consent, and the contract will be voidable at the option of the party whose consent is so caused. On this point, there is a famous case law, that is Chikkam Amiraju versus Chikkam Shesham. So what are the facts of this case? So this is the point on which often a case study is asked, 5 marks case study. So what are the facts of this case? We'll just have a look at it. By threat of suicide. So there was one person, he gave a threat of committing suicide. He was a Hindu person and he induced his wife and son to execute a release deed in favor of his brother with respect to certain properties which they were claiming as their own. So one person gave a threat to his wife and son that if you will not give release deed to my brother with respect to certain properties which they were claiming as their own, they gave the release deed because the threat was given to them. In this case, it was held that why the consent was given? Because of the coercion. And with respect to that release deed, it will be voidable. Voidable means it will not be binding on wife and that son. Whenever they want to get it cancelled, they can do so. So they gave a consent, they gave the release deed because of the coercion which was induced by her husband. Therefore, it will be contract, that release deed will be voidable. It will not be binding on her. Clear the facts of this case. One person gave a threat of suicide. He said that I will commit suicide if you will not give a release deed with respect to the properties which they were claiming as their own in favor of his brother. It was held that that release deed was not binding on them because it was a voidable contract. So, which act will amount to coercion? If there are certain essentials, the particular act we can call it as a coercion. So first thing is there must be clear utterance of threat. Utterance means the threat should be clearly communicated to the person. He must have used words for the or he must have made certain statements with respect to the threat. So which act will amount to coercion? We can say that whenever any contract is induced or the consent is induced because of coercion, whenever there is a clear utterance of threat. The person who has given a threat, he should have clearly uttered or clearly made a statements or used the words, spoken words to communicate the threat to the other person. Then the threat should be to commit an act forbidden by Indian Penal Code. So threat must be given. Any threat will not be coercion, but that threat must be in order to commit a crime or in order to commit an act which is prohibited or which is mentioned in Indian Penal Code as a crime. It must be uttered with the intention of causing the other party to enter into an agreement. Now, what is the purpose with which that utterance of the threat is made? In order to induce that person to enter into an agreement. So these are the three essentials of coercion. So how a case study is asked on these points? So there are three types in which how case study will be asked. A threatened his wife that he would commit suicide if she does not agree to transfer her property to him. Because of the threat, wife transfers the property. Is the contract binding on her? So whether contract will be binding on her? No. Why no? Because in order to create a valid contract, free consent is necessary. In this case, the consent which is given by wife is not a free consent, but it is the consent which is given because of coercion. So committing suicide is one of the act which is forbidden by Indian Penal Code. While solving the case study, here you have to write the definition of coercion. Then you should write the name of the case study which you have discussed, that is Chikkam Amiraju versus Chikkam Sheshamma. And you have to write here certain words should be there, the free consent should be there, coercion should be there. Then the contract will be voidable. Contract is not binding on her, but the contract will be voidable at her option. So all these things, what are the things? Voidable words has to be there in your answer. Coercion, definition of coercion should be there. Free consent, it is not a free consent, like that you should write. So this is a point on which a case study is asked. Another way how case study is asked on this point is, A threatened B that he will kidnap his children. Means A threatened B that A will kidnap B's children if B do not agree to sell his property to A. A said that I will kidnap your children if you will not sell your property to me. Because of that threat which was given by A, B sold the property to A. Is it a valid contract? No. So, threatening to kidnap someone. So, kidnapping is an offense as per Indian Penal Code. It is the act which is forbidden by Indian Penal Code, prohibited by Indian Penal Code. Therefore, this contract is not a valid contract, and all those things you have to write. Next way, how the case study is asked on this point. A threatens to shoot B if he does not sell his house to him for 2 lakh rupees. The house is worth 20 lakh rupees. So because of the threat which was given to B to shoot him, B agrees to sell and signs the documents for sale. Is the contract valid? Contract is not valid, and all those things you have to write while writing a case study. So we have already discussed what is the way of solving a case study. Case study should be written in 5 points. So case law, Chikkamar Amiraju versus Chikkamar Shesham. So this is the point on which often a case study is asked in previous year's question paper. Thank you.